We're fast approaching the end of the season and there's plenty of players in the Championship who have been absolutely smashing it and some are ready for the next step up. Hello and welcome back to INMR, where in today's podcast I'm going to be talking you through 5 players who are ready for the Premier League. We'll be going through their metrics, their style of play, and I'll also tell you which club would suit them best. Let's get straight into it with our first player, and that is Trey Hume from Sunderland. Hume is a dynamic right back, as you can see from his heat map this season, and he was always a very solid defender, but this year what's taken him a level up is the way that he's contributing to attacks. The Northern Ireland international has been a key creative outlet for Sunderland this season, creating 57 chances. He's also had 71 touches in the opposition's penalty area and contributed 6 assists. He gets in really dangerous areas and provides some key moments for the Black Cats, but that's not all he does. He doesn't just pop up in the key areas at the right moments, he is actually the one building play and driving his team forward. His involvement in the build-up is highlighted by his passes and touches this season. He's completed 1,411 touches, which puts him in the top 3% for fullbacks in the league, and he's also in the top 2% for total touches with almost 2,800. As I mentioned before, he was already fantastic defensively, but he's really honed his attacking skills this year. He's averaging 1.45 key passes per 90 this season, 4.02 passes into the final third, 5.04 progressive passes and 2.47 shot creating actions. That obviously highlights how well he's operating across the pitch, but the key metric here is that he has the most touches per 90 in the midfield third. He averages 33.46 touches per game in that third, which is the most for a fullback in the league. And what that tells us is that when he picks the ball up in defence, he drives forward into those midfield areas before providing the killer pass for a teammate to go and potentially score. Obviously, I've mentioned how reliable he's been at the back, so it's important to look at those metrics as well. He's won the most tackles this season with 67. He also ranks in the top 3% for duels won and the top 4% for aerial duels won. In terms of tackles and interceptions, he's averaging 3.95 per 90. In terms of weaknesses, of course, every player has one, and for Hume, it's 1v1s. He ranks in the bottom 20% for dribblers tackled per 90 with just 1.4 this season in the Championship. But everything else seems to be great, so I do think he is ready for the top flight. For a club to join, we'll start off strong with Brighton. I think, they need a new right back, and Hume does suit Hösler's style of play. He's defensively strong and good going forward, which is important in Hösler's setup as he does like his fullbacks to join the attack. This season, Brighton have struggled with right backs. Obviously, Veltman has been very good when he's fit, but he doesn't provide as much going forward. Tariq Lamptey provides more going forward, but is very poor defensively in my opinion, and Hinshelwood isn't actually a right back. So finding a right back this summer for Brighton is a very important priority. With Hume in the side, he'd add a whole new dimension to the Albion's attack and would tighten up that back line as well. The next player is Hume's Sunderland counterpart, and it is Jobe Bellingham. Now, don't let anyone tell you that people are only talking about Jobe Bellingham because of his last name. He is a fantastic player in his own right and is definitely ready for the top flight. The 19-year-old showed his versatility last season, playing in a variety of different positions, but this year has shown his quality in his favoured central midfield position. He is very comfortable on the ball and glides past opponents with ease, and in those congested areas, he's absolutely fine. This is highlighted by his 32 successful dribbles this season, which puts him in the top 4% for this metric in the league. But a lot of the time with these young players that can dribble, you see them doing it in the wrong moments. This is not the case with Jobe Bellingham. He's got great awareness to know when that is and isn't on, and that's shown in his long ball accuracy this season. When he needs to go direct, he does, and with an accuracy of 79.9%, Jobe's long ball accuracy is up there with the best in the league. He's created 45 chances and had 68 touches in the opposition's box this season, so although he's playing in that more reserved central midfield role, we are still seeing the danger he can pose in the box. We knew he could do it from what we saw last season, but he's just reminding us every now and again. He breaks up play superbly and ranks highly for duels won, aerial duels won and recoveries. He's clearly not afraid to put his body on the line either. He's got the most blocks this season with 23. Jobe's weakness though is his discipline. This season he's got 10 yellow cards, which is the third most in the league, and he's been sent off as well. In terms of the team I think he should join, I'm going for Nottingham Forest. There's not many midfield options for Forest, and with Morgan Gibbs White potentially joining Man City in the summer, they're going to be wearing thin in that area. Forest are very direct and like to catch teams on the break, so Job's long passing range would benefit massively. In a Forest setup, you also need to be defensively solid, which Job is, and an example of a young player that's come into Forest and been really successful is of course Elliot Anderson, and I do think that Job could follow suit. Job's ability to distribute and join attacks paired with his defensive work rate would be perfect for Forest and their transitional play. He's bound for a Premier League move, and at Forest I can see him being a vital part of their machine. Next up, it's Joel Piroe from Leeds. He's a clinical striker who scored 15 goals this season, and although he's currently enduring a bit of a drought, he has been quality, and it's not just in front of goal where he's good either. His link-up play is superb. His composure in front of goal and spatial awareness in the box has allowed him to score from quite low quality chances, meaning he's currently outperforming his XG. He's also very good at dropping deep and linking play, which is shown in his 31 chances created this season and 6 assists. In terms of his chances created, he ranks in the top 3% for strikers in the Championship. Out of possession, he is very aggressive, which might give you a clue as to the team I think he should join. He's got the most blocks in the league with 29 and ranks first for possession won in the final third with 27. When opposing centre-backs drive into midfield, Piroe often tackles them before they can make a pass. He's successfully tackled 66.7% of dribblers this season. His only weakness is that he's not very good in the air, but with the team I'm putting him to join, I don't think that's going to be a problem. There are other players that cover well in that area. And the team I think Piroe should join is Brentford, as in Thomas Frank's setup, the strikers are allowed to interchange positions. This is perfect for Piroe, who likes to drop deep and shift wide in order to create space for teammates and chances. Out of possession, Brentford also play a high, aggressive press which suits Piroe, and I could see him scoring a lot of goals from high turnovers. Next up, it's Borja Sainz from Norwich. Now this is the name that everyone knew was going to be mentioned in this video. He's been superb in the Championship this season. He's currently the top goal scorer with 17 goals. The Spanish left winger has set the league alight and has been massively outperforming his XG. And even better, not one of those goals have been a penalty. He's got 4 assists too and has created 45 chances, although creativity isn't really the focal point of his style of play. He's an absolute joy to watch, driving forward at players and cutting inside. He's caused absolute mayhem for Championship defenders. He's completed the most dribbles in the league amongst his positional peers with 88, had 173 touches in the opponent's box and won 72 fouls. He has been a nightmare. He ranks in the top 4% for successful take-ons per 90 this season with 2.49, and again in the top 4% for carries into the final third per 90 with 2.88. Out of possession, he's very good, always desperate to get back on the ball and dribble at defenders. He ranks in the top 2% for duels won this season with 215, the top 3% for possession won in the final third with 29, and the top 8% for tackles won with 34. His only weakness is that he is a bit clumsy. He's conceded the most fouls with 55 this season, and he's also not very good at crossing. His accuracy from wide areas is just 14.8%, so sometimes defenders know that he's not going to go down the byline because crossing isn't a strength. Against Premier League opposition, this could be very obvious for them that he's going to cut inside, and maybe he won't have as much success, but I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue as he is unbelievably quick and agile. The club I think he should join is Fulham due to their fluid attacking style. There's a big focus on the width when going forward, and this would suit Sainz perfectly. Just look how successful players like Alex Iwobi have been since joining Fulham. I think Sainz could follow suit. Fulham like to counter with a high tempo, and this would suit Sainz perfectly. He'd get a lot of opportunities in front of goal, and most importantly, he'd have attacking freedom, which his game does rely on. And last but not least, it's Azaz from Middlesbrough. The Irishman leads the league for assists and chances created this season with 11 and 78 respectively. This season, what's been so amazing to see from him is that he's finally added goals to his game. He's got 10 this season from an XG of just 7.51. He's the perfect number 10, creating and popping up in the box. 9 of his 10 goals this season have been scored in the 18-yard box. In terms of touches in the penalty area, he ranks in the top 4% with 144, and he ranks in the top 3% for 3 key creativity metrics. He's averaged 4.68 shot creating actions per 90 this season, 6.05 progressive passes, and 2.27 key passes. Although Azaz is a cam, he does tend to drift wide to support play on the flanks and get crosses into the box himself. Some of his assists this season have been from unbelievable whipping crosses into the box for a teammate. He previously played for Aston Villa but never made an appearance in the top flight, but next season I think we could see him there. His only weakness is his passing accuracy. This goes under the radar because he makes so many passes per game, but his passing accuracy this season is only 68.5%. This would need to be much better in the Premier League, especially in those short distances. As you can see from his metrics here, in the tight areas is where he really struggles to get a pass to a teammate. The club I think Azaz should join is Everton. Now this might not be the most appealing move, but I do think he'd be a really key player for them and could help them go on to improve. The Toffees are in desperate need of a creator. Yes, they've got McNeil, who's created 32 chances this year, but that's from the wide areas. They need that central focal point, and with the goals that Azaz provides as well, it would take some of the weight off the struggling strikers. With Azaz in that Everton side, he'd provide the spark going forward and the threat in front of goal. So those are the 5 Championship players that I think are ready for the Premier League. Let me know what you think of these 5 players and which one is most ready for top flight football. That is where I'm going to end today's podcast, but there are plenty of others you can go and listen to. For more content, be sure to check out my website, that's inmrfootball.co.uk. On there you can find match reports, live blogs, club updates and so much more. And if that's not enough, INMR is also on X and Instagram, so you can follow me on both of those platforms for even more daily football content. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.